Welcome back to yet another episode of Before You Summon. February is upon us with our first unit-focused event for Leo Need of the Year. But before we get into the event, I would like to humbly request that you consider subscribing if you find these videos helpful or entertaining. But with that, let's get into the event Lead with Courage and Kindness that will run from February 10th to February 18th. As already stated, this is a Leo Need unit-focused event in the Cool attribute. The commissioned song for this event is called Regulus and will be granted to you through your in-game mailbox on February 18th. Regulus will release with a Sekai version as well as a virtual singer version. And while there is no alternative vocals being added with the song on launch, there will be one added later for Honami only, which should be coming around September of this year. So if you're a massive Honami fan, you have something to look forward to. And this is obviously a Honami focused event, with the rest of Leo Need acting as supporting cast and Leo Need Kaito being the virtual singer for the event. And the story synopsis reads as follows. After being asked by Shiho, Honami begins to think about the kind of music she's aiming for. However, even after countless tries, she can't seem to come up with an answer of her own and is slowly becoming anxious. Meanwhile, Shiho herself was called by the president of Solis Records, who then asked her about Leo Need's current state. Following the event's conclusion, we will see an afterlife that will be available between February 18th and February 19th. Participating in the virtual live during the allotted time period will grant you 300 crystals and a stamp. The stamp this time around is of Honami, called I'll Lead You All. And the virtual live item added with this event is a pair of glow sticks with a honey jar on top. And if you want these adorable glow sticks to customize your virtual live avatar, it will set you back 1,000 paid crystals to pick them up from the virtual live shop. And obviously, running alongside the event is also the event Gacha. The Gracing Ever Higher Gacha will be available between February 10th and February 20th. And since this is a marathon event, the Gacha will abide by standard permanent Gacha rules. Which means that there are 3 new permanent cards being added with the Gacha. Our first card is of course of our focus character for the event, Honami, called Guiding Resolve.
私がみんなを導くんだ。
Honami is a scorer skill card with the skill name What Happened During My Special Training, and scorer skill cards will grant a 100% score bonus for 5 seconds at talent level 1. And of course, all 3 of the new permanent cards will arrive with a unique costume for that card, Honami's one being General Commander. Our second character in the gacha is Ichika with her card Take Your Time.
ほなみだけに頑張らせないよ。
Ichika is a perfect scorer skill card with the skill name Our Determination. And perfect scorer skill cards will grant you 110% score bonus for 5 seconds for only perfect taps. And Ichika's special costume is called Aid Uniform. And taking our final slot in the gacha is Kaito with his card Pick a Side. Kaito is a perfect locker skill card with the skill name Genius of Parable. And perfect locker skill cards will change all bad or higher taps into perfects for 5.5 seconds and grant an 80% score bonus for 5 seconds. And Kaito's new costume is called Colonel Uniform. And that covers all 3 of the new cards added with the gacha Gracing Ever Higher. But of course, we also have 2 exchange shop cards that are tied to the event. Taking the 2-star slot is Saki with her card The Things I Want a Leader to Do. And Saki is a pure attribute card with a scorer skill. And for those paying attention, this means there is only Shiho left to take the 3-star slot. Shiho's card is called Imagining Her Happy Face and is of the happy attribute with a perfect locker skill. The skill being called a small, simple picnic. And both of these cards will become available once the event proper opens through the exchange shop for the standard exchange shop prices. But that covers all of the general information you need to know, so instead we can look towards the event team building. And as always, the 3 cards that we just covered from the gacha grazing ever higher will be the focus cards for this event. And this obviously means that they will grant a 70% bonus because of their focus status. And also remember the event bonus changes made during 3rd anniversary to 4-star card and birthday cards, as I will not mention it further during this video. And during this event team building, I will be trying something new. Instead of reading out every 2-star card and 3-star card, I will instead display all of them on screen and point out if we have any asterisks, such as cards recently being added to the standard gacha pool or not yet being in the standard gacha pool. This in an attempt to shorten down the video length of these guides. So instead I will focus on the 4-star and birthday alternatives for event team building, since they are the strongest cards available. And this time around we actually only have a single asterisk when it comes to the 2-star and 3-star cards. The 2-star Saki from the event Beside the Unchanging Warmth has obviously not yet entered the standard gacha pool with how recent Beside the Unchanging Warmth was. As for the 2-star brand new world sets added with 3rd anniversary, I think we have had enough time between now and the 3rd anniversary where I do not need to mention them any further. But let's look towards the 4-star cards, starting with the focus character of the event, Honami, which has 3 available cards. This includes 2 permanent cards and a birthday card. The first card to be released for Honami was from the event Resonate With You, while her second permanent 4-star card comes from the event Putting Feelings Into Words. As for her birthday card, it's her 3rd year birthday card that grants the 50% bonus for this event. Continuing with the gacha characters, Ichika has 4 available cards. 2 limited 4-star cards, 1 permanent 4-star card, and a birthday card. Ichika's first limited card to be released was her Colorful Festival exclusive card that was released with the 1st anniversary Colorful Festival. Her second limited card instead coming from the event Memories That Come With the Scent of Candles. Her permanent 4-star card is the latest card to be released, coming from the event Connected by Our Stellar Song, also known as the Leonid Second Archender. Finally, Ichika also has a birthday card, hers being from the 1st year batch. Finishing off the gacha characters, despite this being a unit-focused event where all virtual singers can grant the 50% bonus as long as they are the correct attribute and has the Leonid unit tag, there is only a single 50% card for the virtual singers. This in the form of the Kaito from the event Connected by Our Stellar Song. There is though a much wider selection of cards when it comes to 40% cards. Because this is a unit-focused event, all virtual singers in the blank or unitless category in the correct attribute, still being cool, can grant the 40% bonus. The most noteworthy cards in the 40% category is the Greedy Judge from the 7 Deadly Sins, as well as the Colorful Festival exclusive Rin from the 2.5 anniversary Colorful Festival. There's also 3 birthday cards, the 1st year Rin, the 2nd year Kaito, and the 3rd year Meiko that will grant the 40% bonus. And this of course only leaves us with the exchange shop characters. Starting off with our 3-star representative, Shiho has 5 available cards with a 50% bonus. This includes 4 permanent 4-star cards as well as a single birthday card. In order of release, her first permanent 4-star card was released with the event Resonate With You. Her second 4-star card comes from the event Putting Feelings Into Words. Her third permanent 4-star card comes from the event connected by our Stellar Hope or the second Archender for Leonid, with her final permanent 4-star card being released with the event This Way That Way Zookeeper Day. And Shio's final card is of course a birthday card, hers coming from the second year. And this of course leaves us with our 2-star representative Saki with 3 available cards, one of which is limited and 2 are permanent. Saki's limited card of course comes from the recently concluded Sanrio collaboration event, with her first permanent 4-star coming from the event Resonate With You, while her second permanent 4-star coming from the event Putting Feelings into Words. And this is our final event team roster. Leonid's cool attribute is heavily dependent on the events Resonate With You, Putting Feelings into Words, and our Constellation Song, seeing as 90% of all the 4-stars comes from these 3 events. So if you did not pull from these events, or you haven't been able to snag any cards from them despite how old they are, you are kind of out of luck with Leonid cool cards. And it's not often, I have to say, that the virtual singers are very weak during a unit focused event, but in this case they really are. A single 4-star from a semi-recent permanent event is really bad, and if you don't have something like the Colorful Festival Rin or the 7 Deadly Sin Kaito, you're most likely out of luck of having a really strong 4-star card. But at least I'm very happy to say that the 2-star and 3-star selection of cards is really strong. I don't think that most people, even new players, will struggle with getting together a team with a 250% event bonus, seeing how good the selection of 2-star and 3-star cards are. Especially considering how many 3-star options there are for the virtual singers, meaning that even if you don't have all of the unit members, you might have 2 or even all 3 of the virtual singers for the 3-star options. So depending on your luck, the 4-star selection for late game players might be an issue, but that feels like it's always the case. I feel like the selection is just wide enough that most players should have 1 or 2 options at least, but maybe won't be able to reach the 300% bonus that is possible nowadays. But I am happy to see that most players, both new and mid-game, will most likely be able to at least gather the 250% event bonus that is so nice to reach. So with all of that out of the way, please down in the comments tell me what you think about the new formatting. I really want to hear your guys' feedback about this, as I am trying to shorten down the videos to get you guys more information quicker while also retaining all of the great nuance that I usually contain in my videos. So having covered the event team building, we can then move on to the future usability of these cards. And is anyone actually surprised if I say that one of the gacha cards and one of the exchange shop cards has no future use? Sadly, both Ichika and Saki are currently without any future usability on the Japanese server. As for the other 3 members, Shiho and Honami both see use in 2 events and Kaito sees use in 1. Honami and Kaito sees use together during the event Rise as One, which is more commonly known as the 3.5 anniversary. This event will run from March 30th to April 8th and has Akito, Honami and Kaito in the gacha. This of course means that Honami and Kaito are both available with a 70% bonus if you pull from the event Rise as One. And in turn, this makes the lead with Courage and Kindness Kaito and Honami lower gameplay value. Especially considering that the 3.5 anniversary is a limited event connected to a colorful festival, making the Honami and the Kaito from Rise as One high value cards during a double drop rate gacha. Honami then sees use during a second event, being Wonder Horror Test of Courage. This event will run from August 31st to September 8th. In the gacha for this event is Honami, Emu and Mafyu, meaning that Honami once again is lower gameplay value as she is available with a 70% bonus. This on top of this being yet another limited event with with a cool Honami during 2025. So the lead with courage and kindness Honami has some really steep competition for her future usability, as she is available as a limited 70% bonus cards during both the next events she's available in. Shiho, on the other hand, being a happy attribute card, will first see use during the event Parallel Harmonies that will run from April 20th to April 28th. And things doesn't get much better here, as Saki, Shiho and Meiko are the gacha characters for Parallel Harmonies. This of course means that Shiho is available with a 70% bonus during this event. But it's also worth pointing out that the 3-star Shiho is an exchange shop card, and if you do not have a happy attribute Shiho 4-star card and you're not pulling from Parallel Harmonies, the 3-star Shiho is going to be a very solid option. And this is why you should always pick up the 3-star card, so you have a great selection of 3-star cards in case of 4-star cards not being available, as well as filling out your rosters for the future World Link events. The second event Shiho will see use in is Happy Enjoy Music that will run from October 31st to November 8th. In the gacha for this event is Ichika, Saki and Honami, meaning that Shiho is only ever available with a 50% bonus, making her exchange shop card higher gameplay value for this event. So the future usability of these cards is very shaky at best. While Honami, Kaito and Ichika might see use in a future cool attribute Leonid event, this would most likely have one or several of them be 70%. And as always, we can argue all we want about mixed events with Ichika in the cool attribute or Leonid unit focused events in the cool attribute, but the current truth is that neither of those things have happened. So we have to go from what we currently know, and as it currently stands, these cards are not seeing a lot of future use, and when they do, they are currently very weak because of the limited events with Honami in them. But having said that, I don't have much more to say about the future usability of these cards, so instead we can look towards what new limited costumes will come out for Ichika, Honami and Kaito. And the selection this time around isn't too bad actually. As we already know, Ichika will already get a limited costume during February in the event Relax Tea Time that will run from February 28th to March 6th. In this event is Kanade, Mafyu and Ichika. Following this is an event we already mentioned in the form of Rise as One or the 3.5 anniversary. This event will run from March 30th to April 8th and is of course connected to a colorful festival. In the colorful festival portion is Tsukasa, Emu and Saki, with Akito, Honami and Kaito being the event characters. Then we will have to wait some times before we arrive at another event we already mentioned, being Wonder Horror Test of Courage. This event will of course run from August 31st to September 8th and has Honami, Mafyu and Emu in the gacha. The final character to get a costume out of these three is Kaito during the event Unfading Wishing. This event will run from December 31st to January 9th and is connected to a Bloom Festival. The Bloom Festival exclusive cards for this gacha is Anne and Haruka, with Akito, Airi and Kaito as the event characters. So it's obviously not the most amount of new limited costumes we have seen, but I still think it's a pretty solid selection for these characters. As for rerunning gachas, the selection is actually quite weak. Remember that the second rerun of any given limited gacha is the final, and you should plan your crystals according to that notion. But rapid firing through the reruns, our first rerun we will see is the Imperial Soldiers rerun in March, with its second rerun already confirmed for September 2025. This is followed by the final rerun of the gacha Let's Enjoy Summer that we will see in April. After that we will see the first rerun of the Eternal Bells gacha in June, with no second rerun confirmed, as well as the final rerun of the Before the Storm gacha also in June. Sweet Cute Valentine that will have its first rerun during the duration of this event will have its final rerun rerun in September alongside Imperial Soldier. In July we will see the final rerun of the Growing Feelings Words in the Snow gacha. And our final gacha containing any one of these characters is the Grow Up With Me gacha that will have its first rerun in October with no second rerun yet confirmed. So the rerun selection of these characters is actually quite small from what we're used to. But once again, remember that the second rerun of any given gacha will be your final chance, so plan your crystals accordingly. With that, we arrive at our final question of the hour. Should you summon from this gacha and should you participate in the event? The short answer as always is yes. If you love these cards, you should definitely pull from the gacha and you should always participate in the events to pick up the nice rewards such as crystals and the 2-star and 3-star card. But of course, if you're on the fence, there are a few things we can point out about the Lead with Courage and Kindness event. Being a permanent cool attribute Leonid event weakens this event significantly, with Ichika having no future use and Honami getting 2 limited cards in the cool attribute that I know is pretty sought after. And while the team building was very niche with having 3 events make up the majority of the team building, I still think that there is enough cards available to team build around in the 4-star category to make these cards not that valuable from a team building aspect as well. So personally, I have a really hard time arguing why you should pull from the gacha for this event despite loving the event and Honami's story that is portrayed. It feels like an important event for Leonid, but a filler event when it comes to the gacha and the choice of attribute. But maybe I am completely wrong about that, so down in the comments please tell me, do you feel the same as I do, or do you have an argument why I'm being too harsh on this gacha? As always, I do try to read every single comment even if it has taken some time to do so, as I've been a little bit demotivated. And while you're down there typing away your comment, please leave a like, share this video with a friend, and perhaps also subscribe if you haven't already. As always, I want to conclude this video with a special thank you to my Patreon supporters who keep helping me financially to one day maybe realize my dream of being a full-time creator. With an extra warm thanks towards my append players being Ollie, Charlie, Katie, Mia Marie 21, Opal Siren, Peterish, Romaru, Shoop, Snobby Hickory, and Veritas Uwu. As always, I cannot thank you guys enough, and if you also want to support me that little extra bit, the link to my Patreon will be down in the description. But for now, I won't keep you here any longer. Let's get out of here for the week.